Howdy folks, welcome back. We are a week away from Christmas here. Ooh, look what we got for a present. A very hard puzzle. Alright, let's give it a whirl. There's an awful lot of numbers on there. Let's see what we have got going for us. So I'm going to start looking for some pairs. I see a lot of 8s, I see a lot of 6s. I see lots of numbers all over the place. That's, wow. Okay. Alright, well let's look in these patterns that they have here for us. See, there's like this center row with some numbers that'll give us tops and bottoms. Center row. Got this center row here. We've got a top row, a side row. So there's a lot of rows that here might give us some good solutions to help us out. Like for instance, here's a 7 to the right. Here's a 7 to the left. So we know that one of these two have to be a 7. We have a 6 to the right, we have a 6 through the center and a 6 through the bottom. So we know one of these two have to be our 6s. Alright, let's see what we have here. We have a 2 to the right, 2 to the center. So we know a 2 is going to be out here. Okay, let's look at the center one. We have 3 numbers that are missing. We've got a 1, we've got a 2, we've got a 3. Now we need a 4. Okay, and it looks like there's 2 4s up here, top and through the middle, so we only have one spot for a 4 here. So that's going to help us, so we know there can't be a 4 here. So we have 2 spots for our 4. We need a 5 in the center cube, and we know there can't be a 5 in the center, so there's going to be a 5 in here and here. And then we have a 6, a 7, and 8, and we're going to need a 9. I'm looking at this board here, and there's 2 9s over here, and those are the only 2 9s. So I'm not sure that's going to help us just yet. That's okay. That's okay. So let's look at some patterns here real quick. We have a 2 across the top, 2 through the middle. Very important to keep your pencil marks neat. I only mark it when there's only 2 available most of the time. I see a 6 and a 6 across the bottom, across the middle, and we do have one down the right. So that's actually going to resolve it here for us. Now we have 2 6s through the middle and the right, and we do have across the bottom, so this is going to help us here. There's our 6. Well, we only had 2 spots. It could be our 2, so that resolves that 2. Alright, so that was helpful. We're just looking at these 3 for a moment here. We have 2 8s here, across the top, across the bottom, and then we do have one through the middle. So that actually helps us to resolve an 8 here. 8 through the middle, 8 through the right, 8 across the bottom. I told you at the beginning, tons of 8s all over it. I think that's all of our 8s that are now marked for the game. So that was helpful. Now we do need a 6 up here. I saw this 6 in the right, 6 across the bottom. So our cursor here is where our 6 is going to be. Let's see here. Do we have any other pairs? We've got our 2s marked. We've got our 6s marked. Our 8s are marked or resolved. They're resolved is what they are. Now let's look here in this particular. Well, we've got 3 here. When we get down to 3, I really like to look at that. So we do need a 1, and it can't be in the center, so let's mark that top and bottom. We need a 2. Well, our 2 cannot be here in the bottom row. So our 2 is going to be here, and that's going to give us a ghost row for 2s all the way down. So we have a 2 across the top, 2 down the right, just 2 spots left for 2s. Okay, alright. So we've got our 1 and our 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need a 7. Okay, we have 2 7s over here, so we're going to have 2 7s here. And that's about all we're going to get help on for the 7s at the moment. We have 2 7s up here. So the one that we don't have marked is our 7s. Now, ooh, look at this here, folks. This row right here only has 3 spots, so I was looking at the numbers we need. Well, the first number we need is a 1, but it can't be in either one of these 2 spots, so guess what? There's our 1. So you know what that tells us, folks? By just a elimination here, these have to be our 7. So these 7s do a cool little crisscross elimination here. If this is a 7, then this middle one has to be a 7. If this top one is a 7, this middle one has to be a 7. So over here in this left cube, the top column and the middle rows, the top row and the middle row, there has to be a 7. And also, too, if you count this row, you'll see that there's only 2 numbers left. 1, 2, looks like a 3 and a 7. Okay, so there's our 3 and a 7, 3 and a 7. Those are double locked. Now, the neat thing about that is that tells us what these 2 numbers are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 and a 9 go here. 5 and a 9, and a 5 and a 9. Now this cube is completely marked out, and that will help us in the long run here. Okay. Alright, so what about this center cube? We've got a 1 across the bottom, 1 across the middle, 1 up the left side. So we have 1 there. What about a 2? We have a 2 through the middle. So we still have 3 spots for our 2. 3, 4. Don't have any help on the 5. 6, 7, 8. And no help with the 9 just yet. Okay. Alright, so we've got these 3, we've got these 3. Let's look at the bottom ones. I know we got a couple of them already. Let's look at these pairs. Alright, we have all the 8s already. We have our 7s that are marked. We do have a 3. Oh, here we go. We have a 3 across the top and a 3 down the left side. Plus our 7s here, folks. If these 2 are 7s, well, this one has to be a 7. Because this one can't be a 7, which then tells us a 3 across the top, 3 down the left. This has to be our 3. That one has to be our 2. Now remember, we have our 2's here, so there's our 2. Let's clean up this pencil mark. Very good. So now here in the center one, we have a 2 across the top, 2 across the middle, and 2 down the center. So we have 2 left or right. Now, with there just being 3 spots left, we can actually tell what those numbers are, and that tells us what these 2 numbers are. Which really kind of neat here is we know one of these numbers has to be a 6, which tells us, well, let's go ahead and go through this here. So here's a 1, can't be here, so we got a 1. 2, 3, we need a 4, well, it can't be here in the middle, so there's a 4. 5, and then we need a 6. Well, we have a 6 in the center and a 6 in the right. So that tells me this one has to be our 6, which then tells me this one has to be our 4, which tells me this one has to be our 1. Now this 6 eliminates this one from being a 6. Just gives us that one left. So now we're missing 2 numbers, and guess what? It is that 5 and 9 combo. 5 and 9s are going to be the tricky ones, which is also going to help resolve it for us. Okay. Alright, so we've got that. Now what other numbers are we missing here that we want to identify? Now we do have a 9 that comes across the bottom, so that tells us that one of these 2 is our 9, so we can mark that. We have our 8, we have our 7, we have our 6. Now the 5 can come across. Hey, look at that. So just here or here. That's one of the reasons I like this kind of format here. But we've got any of these bottom 3 could be a 5, so that's not going to be helpful. What about our 4? Do we have any help for a 4? We have a 4 down the right side and across the top. So we still have 3 spots. It could be a 4. 3, we have our 2 marked. 1, we still have 3 spots for our 1. Okay, so let's see what else we have. All right. Let's look over here in this far left cube. We've got our 7. Well, let's what about our 9s here? Do we have anything? A 9 comes across. So a 9 could be anywhere up here. 8, 7, 6. We've got our 5 identified. Any help on the 4? 4 across, 4 down the center. Still have 4 choices for the 4. Oh, now that we do have a couple of these marked, we can see that 4 has to be, whoop, there we go, in the left column. Oh, what's the other number we're missing? Look at that, there's only two spots. Ooh, look at this one. We can resolve almost this whole cube. That one has to be a 1, because if we look at the column, that's the only number that's left. I'm a goob. I've been missing some numbers here. Okay, and so the two numbers that are missing here, let's see, 1, 2, 3, we've got our 4, 5, 6. So we need a 7. Well, there we go. Our 7 has to be there, which means that one has to be our 4. There we go. And what two numbers are we missing here? Looks like a 3 and a 9. A 3 and a 9. Okay, let's mark that. 3 and a 9. Very good, very good. A 3 and a 9. Okay, okay. All right, all right. Totally missed that one. That one was like just yelling at me. If you guys were yelling at me too, I heard you. Okay, let's see what else we are missing. Okay, so we do have, okay, there's a 1 that comes down and a 1 that comes across. So we have a ghost row of a 1 here. So no 1 here, no 1 here, no 1 here. So 1 in this cube is going to be in one of these two spots. Okay, so we've got our 1, we've got our 2. Alright, so we do have a 3 across the bottom, 3 across the top. Any one of these 3, anything can help us out. Not a terrible amount. This left column has a 3 here, so we know 3 has to go here or here. So not that it's super helpful. 4s, not a whole lot of help. 4s can be any one of the, well, except for the center one. 5s we've got marked, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 we have some of it marked. Okay, let's look at this center cube here. We have 2 1s, top, bottom, and then the left side. So that's going to mirror this double 1s down here. We have a 2. We have a 3 across the bottom. Still can be any one of these ones for a 3. In fact, this one right here, 3, 5, and 9, there's a 5 here, so one of these two can be a 5. There's a 3 here, so one of these two has to be a 3. And this is a 5 or a 9, and this is a 5 or a 9, so 9s can only be here. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. So this column is going to give up some secrets here if we look closely. Ooh, I found one. Look, like I said, right here in this column. So these two are 5 and 9 no matter what we do. So I was looking at this one as a 3 or a 7. Look at here, no 7, no 7. That's a 5 or a 9, no 7 anyways, and no 7 there. So in this particular column, this is the only spot that a 7 can be allowed. That is going to help us resolve this 3, which is going to help us with this 3 and this 3. So now we only have 2 spots for our 3, which we already knew, because this cannot be a... Oh, hey, look at that. 5 or a 9, a 5 and a 9. The 3 numbers we're missing here is a 3, 5, and 9. Well, you cannot have a 5 or a 9 anywhere else in this column, because those two have it completely eliminated. So that means 3 is the only spot left for this feller, which now helps us to resolve these two, which helps us now to resolve this one. We can clean up this 5, and then the other number that we were missing here is a 9. So we have a 4 and a 9. Whoop, I used my little mouse there and started rolling away on me. Okay, now that also tells us what the other number is here is a 4. Because these 5 and 9s are locked, now this 1 and 4 is now locked. This column is now done. That was helpful. That column helped us out quite a bit. Okay, very good. Alright, now if we look, whoop, that 3 is no good anymore. I got to update my My notes here, we have a 3 down the center, 3 down the right, 3 across the bottom. That is the only spot left for a 3. Now I believe all of our 3s are marked. And that is helpful. Okay. Alright, so we have 3 numbers missing. We've got some 3 numbers missing all over the place. Now I'm excited because we can start filling some of these out. And okay, let's look at this row here. 1, 2, 3. We need a 4, and it could be here, but not here, but it could be here. There's our 4. 5, 6. Now we need a 7. Can't go here because of this cube. Can't go here in this one. This is the only spot in this row. Make sure you use the right syntax. Not a 4. Is a 7. Alright, so now we have a 4 and a 9 and a 4 and a 9 that are locked. Perfect. Okay. Now let us look this direction. Maybe. That 4 and 9 is locked. Okay. 4, and so we're missing a 1, a 4, a 9, and a 5. A 5. Okay, okay, okay. Let me circle back around and look at this fella. I haven't looked at this guy in a little while. We've filled out quite a bit of numbers here. We've got our 1. Does that still hold up to scrutiny? It looks like it. Now we need a 2. Now we do have a 2 here. It comes up through the middle. So a 2 could still be here or here. Okay, and I'm looking down the row here. It couldn't be here, couldn't be here. So here's a 2, and then here's a 2. Let me just mark those because there's only 2 spots. 1, 2, 3. Now we're looking for a 4. Cannot be here. Could be here. Cannot be here. But it could be here. Alright, and then our 5 could be here. Cannot be here. Could be here, could be here. So we still have 3 choices for our 5. Then we have a 6, we have a 7, we have an 8, and then we need a 9. And a 9 cannot go here, but it could go up here. So we still have a couple choices on those. That's okay. 3, I'm going back to this cube here. 3, 4, and then we need a 5. So we do have a 5 that comes up the right side. We're missing a 1, 2, and a 9 for that one. So no 5 here. So one of these could be the 5. And there's no more help down here. 6. Okay, 7s are marked in the middle. 8 and then 9s. Okay, we're getting close, folks. We're getting close. You probably see it and you're screaming at me, and I'm missing it just by a hair. We've got our 1. We've got our 1. I'm looking in the center column just for giggles. It's got the most numbers left, so if I can resolve some of those. Okay, so there's our 1. Because of the ghost row. Okay, that helped us there. 1, 2, 3. Now I need a 4, and it can't be up here. And it can't be across the top, so I've got like 3 spots that could still be a 4 down here. This one and then these 2, 4. Now I need a 5. Can't have it here. Can't have it here. But it could both be here and it could be here. 6, 7, 8, 9s. Okay. Okay, so I'm wondering, see this 4 and 9 and 5 and 9 and 1 and 4? This pickle right here, I think, is what I've got to... That's that weird pattern in some of these harder ones that I'm having a hard time resolving. One way will work, because see these like this rectangle is intertwined. That will only work one way. And this is where I got to get out my silly piece of paper and give it a go, and see which way it works. Alright, I'm going to try not to fall off my table here. Grab a scratch paper. So I'm going to try this one as a 4. Alright, so center is a 4. Okay, so that would make this one and this one both 9s. 9 there, 9 there. Okay, now if those are both 9s, okay, this one is now a 5. Okay, this one is now a 9. Okay, that makes this one a 5 all the way at the top. And then a 9 here. And so that's our 3 9s. 9, 9, and 9. Okay. Alright, now if this is a 9, this has to be our 4, because we only have... Is that true? Five and a 9. I don't think it has to be a 1 or a 4. Okay, so let's see how that plays out. So the bottom one here would become our 4. Okay, and then the only place left for a 4 is going to be there, and then 1. Okay, and then 1. Okay, then 9 and 5. Okay, and then 4. Okay, so I ran into a problem that I don't think... Well, no, I put it in the wrong spot. Oh, that's a problem with my penciling here too. And then what number am I missing there? 1, 2, 3. Oh, a 4. Can't be there, can't be there. 4, 9. Okay, so if that's a 4, then that's a 2, that's a 7, that's a 2, that's a 7. Okay. That's a 5. That's a 1. That's a 9. 2, 1, 9. Okay, so I tried it all the way through. I wrote it out. If I had stuck with that middle one as a 4, and it worked all the way out. Normally, I picked the wrong one, so that was a 50-50 chance. So let me try it the other way, because I want to find out how that would break. Because I'm trying to find that pattern so I can recognize it. Okay, so I did this one as a 4 and it worked out. So let me do that as a 9. So if this is a 9, this is going to be a 4. And that will be a 4 right here. Okay, and if this is a 4, Okay, then this is going to be a 1 right here, and then that one's going to be a 4, and that's going to be a 1, and then 4 and a 1. I'm getting my noodle mixed up. So I don't think that one will work. Okay, so if this is a 9, then this is a 4. If this is a 4, then this is a 9. This would be a 5. This is a 4. This would be a 1. This would be a 4. This would be the only spot that would be able to be a 1. And then this would be a 9 right here. So see, these two would be 9s, and that wouldn't work. If this is a 9, this is a 4, this is a 4, then the only... See, unless I'm assuming something... Oh, well, that doesn't work. So my puzzles... That's... You guys can probably see it better than I can see it, but I can't see it. And so that's why I got to jot it down a little bit and try it out. But what I did find by doing this, it worked. So here's my 4. There's my 9. If this is my 4, this is my 9. Okay, I only had 2 spots for, well, it was this way that was locked. So if this is a 9, then this can no longer be a 9. That's a 5. And I see, that's what I'm thinking is I've got a couple spots locked that I wasn't taking into account. Okay, like here's that 9, here's a 5, and then here's a 9. Okay, now I have a 5 in the left, 5 in the right, 5 across the bottom, so there's a 5. So now this is the only one left to be a 1, because I have a 1 in the left, 1 through the center. This is the only one left to be a 7, because I have a 7 in the right and a left. The only spot left, well, this one could be a 2 as well. So what are the numbers I'm missing? A 2 and a 9. Well, I've got my 9 across here. So, that is not my 9 button. There we go. There's my 2, which helps us to resolve these two here. Now, let's see what we have here. We have a 1, 4, and a 5. And we've got the same... So we've got a 1 and a 5 here, but there's our 5 coming across. So here has to be our 5, and here has to be our 1, which makes this one our 4, which makes this one our 1. The only number we're missing here in this block now is a 4. In this block, we're just missing our 5. We're missing our 9. And then we just have one number missing here in each row, this one column. There's our 1, there is our 2, and folks, there is our 4. So there is a pattern in there if you can see it. I have to write it down when I get to that last little part because my brain doesn't recognize the pattern yet. But there we go, folks. Good old hard, very hard puzzle. But we got it. We conquered. We prevailed. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave suggestions, comments, and challenges. I enjoy them all. And hope you guys all have a good one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.